Joe Biden spoke at the Council on Foreign Relations, and he admitted something amazing that nobody seems to be talking about.
I went over, for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
Okay, he's bragging about rigging the political system, the judicial system of another country, of Ukraine. He's bragging about it. He's bragging about it. The U.S. runs the world like the mafia. But, you used to have to conceal that fact and act like, no, everything's on the up and up. We believe in equality under the law. We believe in self-determination. Hey, we believe in freedom and democracy. Therefore, the people of Ukraine get to make their own decisions. No. He's like, yeah, we held $1 billion over their head and said, oh, you want $1 billion? Well, you got to do X, Y, and Z because we don't like. They're not sufficiently pro-America. What's going on here? See, the people who Biden and Obama would have wanted fired in Ukraine are people in Ukraine who are pro-Russia. So the fact that he's bragging about this, like, oh yeah, we're going to give him $1 billion. Sorry, you're not getting it. Why? Well, you haven't done my bidding. Listen, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. You get $1 billion, but you got to fire this prosecutor. He's not sufficiently, he hasn't sufficiently kissed the ring. Wow. And again, nobody's talking about this. Julian Assange tweeted this out, but nobody's talking about this. Okay, you know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of, again, this was from WikiLeaks. It's leaked audio of Hillary Clinton. I believe this came out during the 2016 election. Look at what she said about Palestine.
I do not think we should have pushed for an election in the Palestinian territories. I think that was a big mistake. And if we were going to push for an election, then we should have made sure that we did something to determine who was going to win.
Wow. I don't think we should have had push for elections in the Palestinian territories. And if we were going to do it, we should have made sure we figured who was going to win. She's saying there shouldn't have been elections, but if there was, we should have rigged it for who we want. So, Hamas won. Well, we don't like Hamas. We should have rigged it against Hamas. God, fucking democracy. Sometimes we get the wrong answer. Should have just rigged it. First of all, what Biden said there, that should totally sink his 2020 chances. It should totally sink. He was the vice president, and he's bragging about how they rigged the Ukrainian system. That should totally sink his chances. 100%. And then these are the same people, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, among others, who have the nerve to talk about Russian interference in our system. Can you believe that one country would mess with the system of another country? Yeah, Joe, tell me more about that. How fucked up it is when one country messes with the system of another country. Oh, but see, when we do it, it's okay. That's in order to analyze anything about what America does from within our system, in order to be a respected pundit, you have to forego objectivity and equality under the law. And you have to agree that, okay, when we do it, it's not the same thing. It's okay when we do it. When anybody else does it, it's wrong, right? No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. So they're going to bitch and moan about Russian interference. And by the way, what do they mean by Russian interference? Russia may have used Twitter bots and fake news on Facebook. So they're doing full social media crackdowns over that, over Twitter bots and some fake news on Facebook. Now, Mark Zuckerberg tweaked the algorithm, and news and politics is totally deprioritized, and independent news and politics is super deprioritized because, hey, we count the same as Alex Jones now. Twitter, we got to ban all the Russian bots. There's already been stories of people who, of course, were not Russian bots who had their accounts banned. This is the effect of that. So you're allowed to flip out over Russian bots. Remember the headline of Russia used Pokemon Go to sow discord using Black Lives Matter protesters. I don't even know what that means. What does all that mean? I don't even know what that means. They're arguing, Russia stoked racial tensions in America. Blame them for the... What? We've always had racial tensions. What the fuck are you talking about? Russia's to blame for the Trayvon Martin situation or the Michael Brown situation or Philando Castile? Russia's to blame for that? What the fuck are you talking about? When people are out there protesting over race issues, perhaps they're independent thinkers who've come to their own conclusions and they go, I think this is fucked up. We should try to change it. No, blame Russia. Russian interference in our system. They made you care about that by sowing discord and using fucking social media bots or something. This is the convoluted thinking that goes into what these people do. But when you have a much clearer and direct example of interference in another system, when they use a bribe of $1 billion to get a prosecutor fired, when they openly talk about rigging the election in the Palestinian territories, that doesn't count. We're good people. What? See, that's the thing about this that I think frustrates people who are educated on this issue more than anything else, is that the United States government, we just waged an illegal war against a country that didn't attack us and killed a minimum 200,000 civilians. And we did torture in the process in Iraq. And we're going to have the nerve to talk about another country interfering in the system of another country? What? I can't. You can go into the history of the CIA and literally doing coups and overthrowing governments for our corporate puppets who we put in there, the dictators who will do our bidding. You go down, this is the history of the United States of America. Now, I'm not saying that Russian interference or anybody's interference is okay in an election, but that's the point, is that their argument is when we do it, it's okay. When anybody else does it, to a much lesser degree, it is not okay. And that's what's so fucking frustrating. So just imagine for a second, this was Vladimir Putin saying the same thing that Joe Biden just said here. I give him, we give them $1 billion, but I say, well, first you have to do a favor for me. You must fire a prosecutor. They would be playing that 24/7 on our news networks. 24/7. Imagine Vladimir Putin. We shouldn't have been okay with elections in this place, but if we were going to do elections, we should rig it. 24/7. We'd be going to war. That's what would happen. But when our guys do it, not even a fucking peep. And one of the Democrats who did it, Biden, is now considered one of the front runners, anointed by the media to be considered one of the front runners in the Democratic primary. This is what frustrates people about our system, our media, and our corrupt, hawkish government.